Folks, welcome to this week's episode of The Cut. This is Big Richard Walker sitting in for Craig with the guys. I think Craig had a little bit too much of that gumbo that he was talking about for Thanksgiving. So I'm sitting in for him this week. Also, the other guys. Well, we're going to do things a little differently this week, folks. We're going to take a look back at some of the things that we've done. So we're going to take a look back at the past, look at some spirited debates that we had, a couple of issues that, to be frank, still pretty relevant today, so I think you'll enjoy that. And we're also going to take a look forward. I'm actually on the set of our new online radio show, which is be coming up here in a couple of weeks, called Creep Radio, # Creep Radio. Looking forward to that, folks. As always, check us out on the blog, HoustonMediaWatch.com. This again, HoustonMediaWatch.com. We're going to be streaming Creep Radio online. We also have our new sports talk show, which comes on every Saturday night from 6 to 7. It's called Sports Talk Live with my Craig and myself and the other guys. We love to talk about sports. As you probably figured it out by now, we're finding a way to do something different just about every day of the week. So make sure you check us out every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. on Houston Media Source, and you can see that information displayed here on the screen, as well as during the credits. You'll see the same information, so you can catch us every Saturday night, again, from 6 to 7 p.m. Houston Media Source. In addition to that, folks, we're always going to continue to do things as we do here on The Cut. Time has really flown by, folks. We're getting really close to our 1-year anniversary of The Cut. We're proud of everything that we've done. We've grown by leaps and bounds this year, and we continue to thank you for all your support that you've given us in this community. And we look forward to doing a lot of great things and some new things as well that we have up our sleeve for 2014. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and go to our first segment. I really think you're going to enjoy this debate, of course, because I'm the star of this debate as well. But it's a great conversation. I hear from time to time around the city of Houston, mainly because this individual is someone who helped to bring a championship here. But I'll let you have your take on it. As always, you can follow me on social media on Twitter at HMWBigWalker. Also follow Craig Shelton at CraigHMWShelton. And you're going to see all the Twitter handles and the Facebook handles throughout the show. Follow us. We love to talk sports. Send us a tweet. Send us a Facebook message. Send us you can email us as well if you want to go old school. HoustonMediaWatch@yahoo.com. Folks, we love to talk about sports. This is what we do. So let's go ahead and go to segment 1. We'll take it from there, and we'll be back after this.
Is winning matters until winning doesn't support their argument. Bill Russell won 11 championships. I don't think Bill Russell is 9 times better than Wilt any more than I think he's 6, 7 times better than Jordan because of the number of championships. So if you combine any level of that, then people from the old school, you have to allow for this new, these people, I'll say, anybody that's 30 to 50 years old, you're probably going to have some level of appreciation for Michael Jordan. Depending on what part of the country you're from, you're going to have some level of appreciation for Hakeem Olajuwon, for Larry Bird. And that can fluctuate, like I say, per where you grew up, what team you followed, who you bled, what color you bled, NBA-wise. But for those that like to make the numbers argument, in regard to championships, how can you not consider the work put in by Big Shot Bob, Robert Ory? I know you have a problem with that. Bring me some tissue. And I don't mean wipe his nose, because it's going to get ugly in that
It's going to get real ugly.
I'll let you do the honors.
Okay.
I'll let you make the argument why there's no way Robert Horry should ever belong in the Naismith Hall of Fame. And Adam, I'll ask you to make the intellectual argument why, of course, Robert Horry should be a member of the Naismith Hall of Fame.
Okay. Well, let's start with just a synopsis of his postseason career. Yes, he gets the name.
Let me start it. 7 rings.
7 rings. However, of those 7 rings, at least 4 or 5 of those teams would have won the championship anyway.
Oh, that's purely hypothetical.
Robert Horry has 7 rings because of the other players around him, not because of himself. Those teams won championships in spite of Robert Horry.
Did they win them in spite of his great defense?
What?
Are we saying Robert Horry couldn't defend?
I'm not saying he couldn't defend, but that's not what we know Bob for. We know Bob for catching.
Because that's sexy. That's sexy. But why was he on the floor matched up against big time?
Because he was big and tall and had long arms. That's why they did it.
Had lateral movement.
He was a good defender.
Blocked 100 shots.
He was a good defender in college, but he was a good defender. We know Robert Horry for a spot up 3-point shot wide open. Probably because he had Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson.
Tell me why. You telling me why teams going with him?
If you give me a wide open shot, and I got Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, and Shaq under the middle getting double teamed, I'm gonna hit a few of them.
Richard, all those guys you just named, would you say that most of those were Hall of Famers?
All of them are Hall of Famers.
Okay, so why would Bob Horry? Right, why would these guys not only want Bob Horry to play with him, but why would they set him up for the final shot for him to get the name Big Shot Bob?
Because the defense focused on them.
He needs to be.
Yeah, but they could have petitioned with management to bring in a different guy at the beginning of the year. They could have told the coach, I don't think we should get that. These coaches are deciding that we want you to take this shot.
Bob's phone would ring every offseason.
For
champions.
You have to own.
I understand,
bets.
But you don't get into the Hall of Fame by hitting shots.
When Hall of Famers are passing them.
Dale Ellis is a great shooter.
Argument that you don't get into the Hall of Fame
You don't get into the Hall of Fame by hitting jump shots alone. Dale Ellis is a great shooter. Ray Allen is a great shooter, but he's also a great scorer. He's also a great team leader. He's the kind of guy earlier in his career put a team on his back and carry him. He was a significant role player in the Boston Celtics.
I'll break in and let you guys continue.
Okay.
Stats. Robert Horry career season, regular season stats. He averaged 7 points a game. He averaged 4.8 rebounds a game and almost 1 block per game. He was playing the 3 for much of his career. He played the 4 much later in his career. So block shot opportunities were on weak side help. You understand basketball. It's not like he was, so those shot block numbers may be not as valued as they appear to be, or as a low value as they appear to be. His career playoff stats, 7.9 points, almost 8 points a game in the playoffs. His 3-point percentage was 35.9%, and his rebounds, he rebounded the ball at almost 6 rebounds per game. He was not a prolific guy in regard to numbers. You're not gonna find
that's a softball for Richard. That's a toss-up.
He's clutch. He was clutch. I think the very things that because I watched him play in Houston, I watched him win a ring here. I think the very thing
you watched Hakeem win a ring.
The very thing I think that made Robert Horry probably appear to be an underachiever to some folks. It was that kind of passive type of motions on the floor. You know, he wasn't a high, what we call nowadays high energy guys and all of that. But I think that very same attribute was what made him perfect for those clutch shots. Because let's just face it, from 3-point range, with his size and strength, he was much more comfortable shooting from 3-point range than shooting a 12 or 15 footer facing up. But he had and he was a consistent shooter in regard to his form. You always saw Robert Horry take his shot with the same exact form.
He was wide open most of the time.
Whatever. But my point I'm making is the same things that may have made some people critical of it. I think that laid back personality allowed him to stay calm in those very, very critical moments, Richard.
Wow.
Where he hit game-winning shots to win championships.
You know what?
Adam.
I mean, the only thing I want to say is you have to distinguish if he does go into the Hall of Fame. We were talking about what jersey would he go into. You have to distinguish.
I'll say Lakers.
He was a big shot guy. He belongs in a class with Hall of Famers that trusted him to make Hall of Fame type shots. Not looking at it analytically, I'm looking at it specifically on his peers. And I think you need to put him in that hall with those peers that he played for on so many championships.
Who is Robert Horry's peer that's in the Hall of Fame?
Not many with 7 rings.
No.
He doesn't have any peers.
I could have been a bench warmer on the Celtics in the 50s and rolled Bill Russell's
But
curtail and got 10 or 11 rings.
He wasn't a bench
Yeah,
warmer.
he was not. He was.
Oh my God!
But
look at his stats.
What Bill Russell give you,
Especially after he left the Rockets. After he left the Rockets, Robert Horry had
his stats are 5 rings.
Robert Horry had more DNP coaches'
6
decisions than he did minutes on the floor.
Well, because he was throwing towels in people's faces.
He was on the damn bench most of the time during the season. He was like one of those frozen microwave dinners you had in the back of the refrigerator you eat when you get hungry. That's Robert Horry's career. Let me tell you, you said what jersey he's going in the Hall of Fame? He's going to have an Horry Janitorial Services jersey on because he's going to be mopping the damn floor. He's not going in as a player.
Good job, fellas. We will agree to disagree.
Sorry, Bob.
I don't like to use cliches.
You can say all 7 of the rings, you ain't getting in.
And use the cliche. Richard Walker, like the kids say, and like pretty much everybody in social media loves to say, without thinking the true meaning of the word, you hate. Folks,
You got to do something for me to hate. I'm sorry.
We're going to keep on rolling. Look, Craig Shelton, HMW. That's how you can get at me on Twitter, at Craig Shelton, HMW. At Craig HMW Shelton on Facebook. Hang in there. This is The Cut. That is Adam Rapp. That's that hateful Richard Walker.
I got to be hateful.
We're going to run to a break. We come back. We're going to keep it on the NBA. A heavy NBA show tonight. But we will get some NFL in. Whatever, man. We'll be right back. It's The Cut.
Folks, I told you it was a good debate, wasn't it? And, of course, I was right. You know I'm right. You definitely know I'm right. And if you don't know I'm right, then your last name's probably Horry. Whatever. Anyway, we're going to go to a break. We'll come right back after this. You're watching The Cut.